This is the February 20th City of Frankfort Board of Commissioners work site. Well, this is a regular voting session, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Present.
Commissioner Thompson,
Present.
Commissioner May,
Present.
Commissioner Unger,
Present.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Present. All right, and we have a quorum. We can begin. And first, we have a ceremonial. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Waldridge.
Mayor, so fitting today. Today is our last day of February 28th, which is the last 3 months. We celebrate Black History every day, but it is a month of gathering and focus. So I got to meet DeCory at the Capitol a few weeks ago when he beautifully for the Black History event for the state. And I asked after him, which was really bad because no one wants to follow DeCory Johnson when he's singing, or not. But I got to speak after him, and this little man, he blew me away. To invite him to introduce himself, share a little bit about him, and then from there we're going to from LX 18 from where he's staying at the Capitol for Black History Month. So I'll let DeCory. Bobby allows his video to be played for a moment. DeCory?
Hey you guys, I'm DeCory Johnson, and I'm the little 9-year-old who went viral, and I'm about to turn 10 March 21st. So a little bit of about me is I love to sing, like that's really my passion, and I love to act, and I would really love to be on Broadway. Like I love Broadway so much, and I am so glad to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Coming. So now we're going to your
Thank
video you. And all the other commissioners there. Yes. Okay, Bobby, could you play his video? Everyone mute, and then we'll play his.
Till I
As you guys can see, what an amazing talent. No chills even today. It was the first time when I saw him February 8th perform. The ever cried during our Black National Anthem to see someone, a 9-year-old, so powerful, knowing our people of color have come so, have been through so much, and to have a 9-year-old express it in the way that he did, I still have. But thank you so much for joining us. Anyone else would like to share, they can as well.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm
That was-
so glad that I've been here. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
That was amazing. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Corey.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Waldridge. That was great. He's great. That seems like a good stopping point. No? No. Actually, we have more. Move on to
I would
citizens.
agree.
Now, citizens' comments. City Clerk, do you mind reading a few of those? I think we have some.
Yes, we do. I think we have a total of 3 for tonight. So everybody hear me okay? Yep, okay. Okay, let's see. Thank you for your giving of your time and leadership, and for taking the time to read this comment. My husband and I have lived in Frankfort for over 40 years and have supported Kentucky State University throughout our time here. I graduated from the master's program at KSU, and our son graduated from KSU also. I'm proud to say that our son is captain of KSU's 2001 to 2002 academic team, led them to win regional competitions, and advance to the national finals of the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. More recently, I was honored to serve as one of 2 community representatives on the advisory team in preparation of KSU's 2020 to 2025 strategic plan. Our family has attended and participated in numerous events on the KSU campus over the years. We value KSU's presence in our community and in the Commonwealth. We were devastated to learn of the financial mismanagement and budget shortfall at Kentucky State University. That is why we urge your support of House Bill 250, not simply the funding portion, but the requirements that KSU leadership right the ship. Investigating the financial systems and implementing policies and procedures to ensure that such blatant violations of the public's trust never recur. These are both absolutely critical steps. House Bill 250 requires that KSU's president and a member of the Board of Regents report to the designated legislative committees on the investigation of the actions which led to KSU's financial shortfall. Properly implemented, this component of the bill would take major steps in building confidence in KSU's ability to address the situations which brought about this budget shortfall. I've included the specific section in language delineating this requirement. The actions and reporting requirements in the bill are absolutely essential. House Bill 250 in Section 1, subsection 7, lines 13 to 20 on page 2. KSU 7, during fiscal years 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, and 2024 to 2025, the KSU president and a member of the KSU Board of Regents shall provide a combined total of at least 4 updates each year on the progress of the management improvement plan and the investigation of the actions that led to the financial shortfall described in Section 2 of this Act to one or more of the following committees: the Budget Review Subcommittee on Post-Secondary Education, the Interim Joint Budget Review Subcommittee on Education, the Interim Joint Committee on Appropriations and Revenue, or the Interim Joint Committee on Education. In addition to supporting the resolution to address KSU's budget shortfall and the actions needed to implement systems to ensure such mismanagement does not happen in the future, I also want to commend the Commission for emphasizing the economic importance of KSU. Kentucky State has an economic impact of more than $130 million to the Bluegrass higher education region, a 16-county area in the Commonwealth. Spending in fiscal year 2016 generated more than $48 million in labor income, supporting the equivalent of 1,037 jobs. I understand that the commissioners have received the 2019 economic study from Hanover Research on which the above quote is based. The report provides supporting materials and background data about KSU's economic impact on the Commonwealth. In addition, we want the Commission to be aware that KSU students come from throughout the state of Kentucky, from counties as far west as Fulton and as far east as Harlan County. Many of these young people spending their years and their money in Frankfort represent that great hope of higher education achievements for their families. Frankfort needs KSU, and KSU needs all Frankfort citizens to support this fine institution and this resolution. And that's from Karen Armstrong Cummings. The next comment is, I want to ask the City Commission to please show support for KSU and the passage of House Bill 250. This community has greatly benefited from the university. Many of us who live here, including elected leaders, lawyers, teachers, state workers, medical and healthcare workers, graduated from KSU. And now is the time for the community to show support and take steps to bios a strong town-gown relationship. HB 250 provides the money needed to address the university's shortfall and puts in place a plan for accountability. And that was from Mary Lynn Collins. And the last one I have is, Dear Commission, I was so pleased to hear the decision that was finally made to add Mr. Quentin Franklin to the Parks Board. I know he had applied over a year ago and will definitely be a great addition and champion for our parks. Quentin is a longtime Frankfort resident, lives near Dolly Graham Park, and he and his wife have 2 young children who love to enjoy the parks. He will be a wonderful boost to the board and will bring a new set of eyes on all things parks. Thank you again for stepping up and making the decision to put Quentin on the Parks Board. And that was from Eric Northcutt. And those are all the comments.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, citizens, for your comments. And next item on the agenda, consent calendar.
Yes.
City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a number of items, and I'll just point out for our own sewer director, Kenny Hogston, we have a number of sewer items on this consent calendar, so please bear with me as I read through. Item number 1, the minutes from the special meeting January 6, 2022, the work session on January 10th, 2022, special meeting on January 18th, 2022, the special meeting on January 19th of 2022, special meeting on January 20th, 2022, and the regular meeting on January 24th, 2022. Second item on the consent calendar is the liquid alum contract with US Alco. The purpose of this memo is to seek approval of a contract with US Alco to provide liquid alum to the City of Frankfort Sewer Department. This is imperative for us because to purchase this aluminum sulfate is important for making sure that we comply with the consent decree, so we don't have any permit violations. So this is a budgeted expense. Item number 3 is an amendment to the professional services agreement with Palmer Engineering Company for the Fort Boone Pump Station project. We'd like to seek approval for amendment number 6 to this professional services agreement with Palmer Engineering in the amount of $11,950 for the realignment of the force main through Buffalo Trace Blanton property for the Fort Boone Pump Station. Item number 4 is to accept or to recommend approval of the agreement with Michael and Margaret Kennard for the city to accept the existing private sewer in the right-of-way and for the mayor to sign all related documents. Item number 5, the Miami Trails construction contract. Staff is requesting approval of a construction contract with LogCo for the Miami Trails sanitary sewer project. This project will eliminate one pump station and provide better service in that area. we will have a loan from KIA to pay for this project, which will cost approximately $2.7 million. This is an important project that we have had previously submitted an RFP, and important for our continued service to our community. Item number six is the parasitic acid contract. This is also something really important for our discharge permits to be in compliance for the Frankfort Sewer Department. And this contract would be with the Evonik Corporation. It is $100,000 and it is budgeted. Item number 7, sewer extension with 2020 LLC. As many of you know, we've discussed this issue for a number of months, and we are happy to report that the developer has finally agreed to bear the cost of having the fences replaced by the homeowners. The signed agreement will give residents legal recourse should the developer not replace what was removed. And as a reminder, while the city works with homeowners and developers to accommodate everyone, when there are projects that require work in the easements, anyone who builds into an existing easement takes the risk that structures, trees, etc., that are placed in the easement might have to be removed to allow use of the easement. Staff recommends the City Commission approve the sewer extension contract. Item number 8, the repair of a police department vehicle. We ask that the City Commission approve spending $24,986, all of which will come from our insurance provider minus a $1,000 deductible to repair a 2020 police vehicle. To repair, I should say, sorry. Item number 9, the Skill Bridge MOU. Purpose of this memo is to request the Board of Commissioners approval to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the Frankfort Fire Department to establish a Skill Bridge program for the recruitment of new firefighters, and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. This is identical to the Skill Bridge program recently approved by the BOC for the police department. And the Department of Defense Skill Bridge personnel has reached out requesting that the Frankfort Fire Department serve as one of the state's first 2 pilot programs for its fire and EMS program. While new and offered as a pilot program, this is a resource that we can use to recruit from a new targeted application pool from within our military bases in Kentucky and other locations around the United States. We request approval. Item number 10, the Brighton Park Detention Basin Memorandum of Understanding. Staff is seeking commission approval for the MOU between the city, the county, and Brighton Landmark LLC for cleaning out the existing detention basin on Brighton Landmark property at Brighton Park Boulevard. Item number 11, the 2022 special events, community engagement. As you all may recall, our project specialist, Blair Hecker, has sent information regarding our new approach this year, building on some of the success we've had last year of establishing MOUs with organizations that want to have some of the larger events in our community, so we can outline roles, responsibilities, use of the stage, our police, parks, staff. Before I get into the specific MOUs that we are requesting approval under this consent calendar, I want to say our memo has been updated and might not have caught this. So we have updated this item from the original memo. We have moved the sponsorship support for the Focus on Race Relations Juneteenth celebration to action items, which 4 is requesting a $5,000 sponsorship. So you'll see that under your action items. The other thing we've moved is for the sponsorship and MOU with Bourbon on the Banks, which I know the city is fully supportive. We will move that to the March voting session, as we didn't get some things clarified in time with the agreement to share with the BOC. But please rest assured that will be on March, and looking forward to working with Diane Strong and all the Bourbon on the Banks community to host another successful festival. So what this item, getting the consent on the consent calendar, deals with is one, the MOU with DFI for the Derby celebration, two, an MOU to host the inaugural International Jazz Festival here in Frankfort, an MOU with DFI for the summer concert series, and an MOU with DFI for Candlelight. I'm sure this is not going to probably be the first or the last MOUs that we do, because we know we have a lot of interest from the community, and we will bring those to you once we receive them. Item number 12 is the staff requesting permission to apply for a certified local government grant in the amount of $24,999 to hire an economic consulting firm to conduct a study of impacts of local historic preservation activity on Frankfort's local economy, and to have the mayor sign the application before the March 4th deadline. I believe Vicki had sent out a memo with giving you some other information on this, but to let everyone know that the cash match required to the city would be $20,000, and it would be spread over 2 fiscal years, in fiscal year 23 and 24. And with the impending update to our comprehensive plan and our newly developed strategic plan, the timing is very appropriate to apply for a grant to help quantify the benefits of historic preservation planning and policy in our community and on our economy. And that is all that's on the consent calendar.
Do we have any personnel?
Yes. I thought there was a third.
Whoops. My bad. And I was even actually at the promotion ceremony for the police officer. Last. Item number 13, personnel actions. Thank you very much, Mayor and Commissioner Waldridge. We are recognizing and celebrating the promotion of Shane Music in the police department from police sergeant to police lieutenant on February 22nd, 2022. We're also celebrating the promotion of Daryl Scott Tracy in the police department on February 22nd, 2022, that he was promoted from police lieutenant to police captain. And we are accepting the resignation of Jared Gagel in the fire department on January 28th, 2022 as firefighter.
We have a motion to approve and adopt the consent calendar.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve and adopt. Commissioner Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager Haig, I read all these the different economic impacts with regard to the Downtown Frankfort Inc. and the MOUs. Is there a fiscal change in the budget as outlined in July of 2021?
A fiscal change on the city?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
These are for
Thank you.
upcoming. No.
Thank you.
Hey, motion and a second. Any further discussion, Commissioner Waters? You're on mute.
Of course I am. I just wanted to say that I definitely support the 4 events for us to put that on action items. Also wanted to just congratulate the 2 that were promoted, Shane Music and Daryl Scott Tracy. Congratulations. As I showed up a day late for Haig's office. That was yesterday, so I have too much on my calendar and showed up a little late, but congratulations to people continuing to climb the level here in the ladder here in city police area. I did have a question. Now I don't see where. Oh, and I appreciate the fire department definitely moving on. I think that's really going to help, hopefully, in our recruitment as our numbers are low and trying to rebuild those to keep our community safe. And then I also want to back on what Commissioner Thompson was sharing. in this request is that part of their budget that will be for this asking for a specific line item, I guess, was what I don't know if that's sort of what Commissioner Thompson was sort of getting to. Is this additional money part of the budget line item for them?
Okay.
Is this something we should move out of consent calendar and onto an
Right.
action? I mean, I'm happy to do that if we want to vote on that. Or Law Ross.
I'm willing to vote. I just want, because it's not really clarified.
If there aren't any questions that we think are going to impact the vote, we can go ahead and take care of this here.
Okay.
And in the future, we'll handle some of the questions. If we need to, we'll move them to action items. But I think it's fine if it's not
Okay,
going to impact the vote.
Didn't mean to step in there. Go ahead, City Manager.
So if I'm understanding correctly, I thought Commissioner Thompson's was specifically about DFI and if there was a budgetary impact, and that's no. But for the contribution, yes, there is, and that's why we moved it to the action items. But maybe I didn't hear you correctly because it's cutting out a little bit.
I meant DFI. I knew that 4 was a request. I was just asking that in fact of DFI. An additional response, but you're saying it's part of their budget, so we don't have to worry about that. That's an increase of their budget.
Right. No, it's for us right now. These are just MOUs where we say we agree to, work together on these. This is not related to a budget request that they would have.
Thank
you. Okay. Any other discussion, or if not, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. And that motion to approve the consent calendar passes. And next is up is boards and commissions. First, Boards of Parks Commissioners, reappointment of Polly Coblin expiring May 1st of 2025.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And second. Any discussion on this motion? Commissioner Waldridge.
Mayor, and I guess I'll share this now in regards to this. I have because in 2021 came up for reappointment, and our commission tabled that appointment due to there was 3 people at the time. I asked for it to be tabled because there was man, which is the young man below Quentin Coleman, who asked to be put on the board. He turned everything in, I think, as of that meeting, except for the application, which is basically a sheet. It's nothing that is hugely required for them not to be on or not. And I've asked for him to be placed on this agenda several times with city manager. It has not been put on until now. Because of another young man, I think it was Mr. Breek, that had stepped down from his term last 3 weeks or so, I believe. And I just wanted to share, my concern as a commissioner, my concern as a resident, that I completely understand appointments, come for your office and then they are presented to the board for a vote. Present him in 2021. He has not been back on to do this. He had sent in all of his information, as I stated. I think he would be a great addition to this board to add diversity, to also be a spokesperson in the Dolly Graham area, as we've had a lot of concerns and issues in that area in regards that would allow that community to have someone and a spokesperson, someone that looked like community represented on the board for us to have diversity. And I'm just not how this took so long to put Mr. Quentin on this board. It leaves us, we have to be intentional when things like this occur, and that this is a race issue. However, situations and us not responding quickly does leave the door open for people to see. Could be possible race issues on why someone is not nominated right away, but not placed on a board. My concern here is that Ms. Polly Coblin has gone on to serve on this board, and in the time that she was not reappointed, but now it is okay part of this board now that there is another position available, not Ms. position, to be put in. And so, I just want to, justice delayed is justice denied. And I stand by that. And we have to be intentional that when people of color or another ethnic background you come forward, we have to break these barriers of political correctness or whatever, however you want to put that. We have to make sure that we are being intentional in our decisions for the betterment of our city, for the betterment of our boards, for the betterment of our residents. And we have to do this inclusiveness of diversity with that. To me, he was a great candidate. As I see you've put him on, I appreciate you. But as Mr. Northcutt also shared earlier, it took too long. And for me, though, it's okay to put him on now that you have a reason to keep Polly on. And that was I may see it one way, someone else may see it another, but we have to be intentional ourselves in that position to where it does look like that now we have two spots, so it's okay someone of color or someone else to fit in, because now who we wanted to reappoint is safe. I'm not saying that's the case here as far as it being a race issue, but we have to be intentional with this to make sure that we don't leave the door open for things to become a race issue when we can a month or two. So I know I spoke with Commissioner May and how diligent we are putting people on boards quickly within 30 days to 60 days if possible, but we can't go of not putting someone else on a board just because we want to keep someone else on at that time. Just wanted to voice my opinion on that. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Okay, and that covered, well, we're talking about Polly Coblin right now, and we're going to get to Mr. Coleman next, but any other discussion on the Polly Coblin reappointment? Okay, seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Vote no, as stated in my previous reason on why I'm voting, is I want to be intentional in our decisions of board appointments, and he should have been.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries, and congratulations, Polly, you're now reappointed. And now we'll go to the Board of Parks Commissioners, another appointment, this time of Quentin Coleman, filling a vacancy expiring May 1st of 2026.
Move to approve.
Okay, motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Okay, any discussion on this appointment? Well, I will say that I'm enthusiastically putting forth Quentin Coleman. I did speak with him a couple of times last year, and I think at the time of the original opportunity, I don't think that all the paperwork was in at that time. I don't think the application was in. I know there was somebody expressed some intent that he wanted to be on, but we didn't have the application at that time. But I'm happy to put him forth now. I think he's going to be a great addition to the board, and I've talked again. He's excited, and I think it's going to be great for the Parks Board, and I hope everyone will support it. Commissioner May.
Thank you. And I just want to say to both the reappointment of Polly Coblin and appointment of Mr. Quentin E. Coleman, thank you all very much for your willingness to serve in these roles, and we greatly appreciate it. And we really value anyone and everyone in our community that steps forward to take this on and help participate in the process. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Commissioner Waters?
I don't know. I hope I did not miss that. I'm not sure if you can hear me out or mute it. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. You're breaking up though a little.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to state that I do appreciate you putting forward at this time. I appreciate everyone to vote for him. I hope I didn't miss the vote, because my vote is yes for him, because I was for a moment.
Okay. Can everyone else hear? Can you hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you. You're
Okay.
frozen, but I
You're
can.
freezing up, Commissioner Waters. Well, is there any other
You there?
discussion on this? If seeing none, hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Waldridge, Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries, and congratulations, Mr. Coleman. You're on the Parks Board, and I look forward to great things there. And we'll move on to action items. May I turn it over to you, our city manager?
Yes, Mayor. We have a number of action items this evening. First off, number one is staff requesting permission to surplus one of our 2013 Ford Interceptor police vehicles, and it'll be sold on electronic auction.
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Thompson. Second, Commissioner Unger. Any discussion on this action item? Okay, seeing none or hearing none, clerk, will you please call the roll? Call for a vote, I should say.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Moving on to action item number 2, authorization to pre-hire. You're muted.
Sorry. Chief Briscoe and I had conversations with individually with each of the members of the Board of Commission to discuss the issue at hand and what we're requesting. Staff is requesting authorization to extend a final offer of employment to 7 candidates for the fire department who are on our current eligibility list. As y'all may have recalled, last August, in August and September, and into the fall, we had a staff shortage. And what the fire department has witnessed over the years is that July of each calendar year is a desirable time for members of the fire department to retire. And we've typically left these retirements typically leave budgeted positions unfilled until new recruits can be hired and trained. And since we want to avoid what happened last year, when we had 10 retirements and we did have a staff shortage and we had to have mandatory overtime, some people had to cancel some vacations, we wanted to ask for authorization to pre-hire these 7 candidates. And what this will allow is that hiring these new recruits mid-March will allow them to get ready in June, providing a slight overlap before expected retirements, and give these new recruits a little bit of time to get up to speed before we expect a number of people to retire in the summer. we estimate that the budget impact is going to be about $150,000 to $160,000, depending on equipment needs and training. We know that we'll be able to absorb this cost as the city received new EMS revenue of approximately $410,000, which was not budgeted in fiscal year 22. This revenue is new from our participation in the Medicaid Enhanced Payment Program, which is a new program the General Assembly authorized. There will be a budget amendment, of course, before the end of this fiscal year to account for this expense. But I wanted to be clear that this is not coming out of a rainy day fund or the general fund, but that some additional revenues that we'll be able to absorb this without impacting others.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion and second. Do we have any discussion on this action item? Commissioner May?
I want to say thank you for everybody for being proactive and looking at ways that we can help, accommodate these issues as they arise. And this is exactly the type of forward thinking that we really appreciate and we always benefit from. So thank you, city staff, Chief Briscoe, and to the servicemen and women and everyone out there at the fire department. Thank you so much. And for those of you that had to cancel your vacations and things for overtime, we appreciate your service. Thank you.
Any other discussion? City Clerk, will you please call for the vote?
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Enthusiastically, yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Thank you all. And action item number 3, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The Paddocks of Frankfort, the TIF District Development Agreement. I first, right off the bat, want to give a big thank you to our strategic initiatives consultant, Penny Peevler, for spearheading the effort to bring the Paddocks of Frankfort development closer to fruition. She has presented on this previously to the board, which was enthusiastic in their support. And I want to clarify, this is the development agreement. This is not the TIF agreement. We have a development agreement, and then we'll bring back later the actual TIF agreement. Also want to thank Jim Parsons and Laura Ross for their work on this. And Jim is here if there is any particular questions. As I mentioned, Penny presented the idea of creating a TIF district to incentivize this development to the commission on January 10th at our work session. This development agreement is the first step in that process and establishes a local development area, as it pledges 50% of the incremental increase in property and occupational tax revenue for 20 years to offset the costs up to $12 million in roads and public infrastructure investment into this important development. It also allocates land to the city for a new pump station. This development is also in line with our strategic plan and the strategic focus on economic development as well as financial sustainability.
Thank you. And we have any, I'll entertain a motion on this.
So moved.
Okay, motion Commissioner Thompson
Second.
and second Commissioner Unger. Now, do we have any discussion on the TIF development agreement? Commissioner Waldridge.
I'm trying to switch over because I was trying to table earlier, but I've switched internets. Can you hear me better?
It's a little.
That's not.
Choppy.
I'm definitely in support of this. I've met with their company, many of the people that are involved in this, and definitely in support of it. But I just wanted to know as amendments of supporting Commissioner May's energy. We push this development to be more on renewable energy, if possible, in some kind of along the way.
Commissioner Waldridge, if I may, Mayor, I think that's a great idea, and it's something we can discuss when there is the construction documents. and when it moves forward. But yes, I think that's a great idea because we also we'll discuss with them. We actually need a new warning siren, and out there is a perfect place to put it because it's right there on the border of our community. So those two things would be items that we would discuss with them in the development of the construction documents. So noted.
And I agree. I think anytime we're offering any incentives, tax or otherwise, that we should make sure it fits with our strategic initiatives and our strategic plan and our core values. Any other discussion? Well, Clerk, will you please call for the vote on this?
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, and I'm very excited about this development. Thank you, Penny, for all your hard work.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Congrats to all. Thank you all for your hard work on that. And next, action item number 4.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Staff is requesting the Board of Commissioners to approve a resolution of support of the report issued by the Joint Task Force on Invasive Species. As you may recall, Chris Schimler presented the task force's work at our work session on February 14th, and is requesting City to pass the resolution. This resolution of support will be helpful for them as they start their fundraising efforts and applying for grants to be able to support the community in removing invasive species.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Thompson, any discussion on
Second.
the action item? Any discussion on the Joint Task Force? I'll say thank you, Chris Schimler, for spearheading this and your persistence and tenaciousness to see it through. So thank you for that. And we expect more because you're going to have to keep doing this. So thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none. City Clerk, please call for vote.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. And that motion carries. And action item number 5 now. You're muted.
Muted.
No, I mean, you think we'd be used to this by now. Thank you, Mayor. Item number 5, action item number 5, the resolution in support of Kentucky State University. As you all may recall, at our February 14th work session, our consultant Penny Peevler presented a draft resolution supporting our own Kentucky State University. Staff recommends approval of this resolution that recognizes the value and importance KSC brings to our community and to the state as it seeks financial support from the General Assembly.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner May. We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on this resolution for KSU? Okay. Seeing none or hearing none, the clerk, will you please call for a vote?
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Action item number 6.
Thank you, Mayor. This next action item, I referred to it under our consent calendar. It's a resolution of support of Frankfort's focus on race relations and the City of Frankfort's Juneteenth celebration. This resolution of support, where the city would contribute $5,000 to focus on race relations plans for a 3-day Juneteenth celebration, which the BOC adopted as an official holiday in 2021. It's important to support and help launch this educational and cultural event, which is key for our community. I know FOR is planning a 5K race and walk at Lakeview, educational scavenger hunt downtown, and other cool educational learning opportunities and fun opportunities for the community as part of this celebration. We look forward to working with them to make this event a success. Blair Hecker, our project specialist, and we have met with Ed Poe and his daughters and others to start the planning process as part of this MOU so we can have a successful 3 days of events.
Move to approve.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And second, Commissioner May. Is there any discussion about the resolution in support of the Juneteenth celebration?
Sounds like it'll be a great event. I'm excited, fully supportive of it. Mr. Poe gave me a call to chat about the 5K race option. I think that's a fun way to get people involved in, the weekend activities. So I'm really excited to vote yes on this.
I'm happy to help kickstart any of these events that I think could be long-term celebrations in Frankfort, or I think this is a good opportunity for us to seed that money. Okay, any other discussion? Clerk, will you please call for a vote?
Commissioner Waldridge,
She appears to be frozen.
yeah. Commissioner
Yes.
Waldridge, I think you froze.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. And that motion carries. Action item number 7.
Great, thank you, Mayor. At the February 14th work session, Scott Hasse from NRAL was here to discuss the proposed 2 tasks that they would undertake for the city to support our 100% renewable energy resolution that the BOC adopted last year. As you may recall, the 2 tasks were to gather data on electrical use and load, understand utility regulations, and a lot of other great data gathering. And then with task 2, from that information, develop 4 to 5 recommendations on how we could achieve our goal. I know Commissioner May and NREL had further discussions last week, and decided to add and requested to add a 3rd task, which would be using tools to go more in depth and to focus on how we ensure that our low-income residents are not adversely affected by this, but more importantly, how they can be a part of the solution. In this task 3, as part of our agreement with them, NREL will employ their state and local planning for energy, what they call their SLOPE tool, as well as their low-income energy affordability data tool, which they call LEAD. This would raise the cost from $30,000, which what we initially discussed 2 weeks ago, to $50,000. I believe this task 3 is important for not only as our strategic plan for sustainability and also IDEA and inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access. I think it fulfills 2 priorities, but also gathering this data and having an independent scientific institution recommend options will be important for the city to be able to apply for grants, to apply for support as we look forward to implementing one or more of the solutions that NREL suggests. I also wanted to let the Board of Commissioners know that I have spoken to the Frankfort Plant Board on a number of occasions, particularly with Gary Zhang and Jason DeLong, who serves on the board. And at the last Frankfort Plant Board's board meeting, which took place 2 weeks ago, the board was 100% in support of the city's renewable energy resolution and authorized Gary Zhang to work with us on these efforts, including possible financial support. And if the Board of Commissioners chooses to approve this, I will take that as my task to then follow up with the Frankfort Plant Board and Gary Zhang to work with them on, particularly on these efforts and their possible financial contribution.
Thank you. It's exciting. Well, we have motion to consider, or Commissioner May.
With the, thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners, BOC, and city staff for helping us get this moving. Just for clarification, you were saying, Ms. Haig, or City Manager Haig, a passing of it would be moving forward if the decision to involve other agencies' financial contributions, that would still be a decision that the BOC would vote on.
Oh, I defer that to Laura Ross, but yes, if you want to accept someone's financial contribution.
Gotcha. Okay. It's not a agreement to accept. Passing our scope of work and the contract that we have before us is not an agreement to do that, but it allows us to continue to have those conversations moving forward with anyone that would be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's what City Attorney is agreeing to, right?
Yes, that's right. This contract is solely between us and NREL, but obviously the opportunity to have further conversations about financing is always going to be on the table.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Thomas, we don't have a motion on the floor yet, but do we want to?
Motion
May I-
Okay. Who was the motion? Was it Commissioner May or Thompson?
It was Commissioner May, but I'll second it so that we can
Okay.
discuss if that's
Commissioner
okay.
May motion, seconded by Commissioner Thompson. Okay, any discussion? Commissioner Thompson?
May I ask Mayor, may I ask a question of Commissioner May, please?
You have the floor.
Is there is there an apprehension to receive funding from other local agencies regarding these projects?
No, I don't think, for me, there's individually, I have no apprehension from accepting money from anyone that wants to participate when we get to the point that we feel that is necessary, and we being, of course, a board, and taking on the recommendations of the first step of this very important decision that the city of Frankfort has made, that we chose to take the initiative on, that we as leaders led this community through. And I believe, right now, in our phase one scope of work, it's very important that we move forward as the city of Frankfort. And I believe including language or accepting money from any outside agency, whether, a partner that is certainly going to be down the road, it feels very important to me that we maintain the efficiency and being the one fiscal agent writing checks in a contract that the city of Frankfort is agreeing into. So I have no issue with continuing to talk to any organization that wants to help. But I think when the city of Frankfort is making a decision, that the city of Frankfort should hold those conversations, and I think opening the door for money from anybody could skew that a little bit. In the beginning,
Yeah, I understand. I worry that as Commissioner Haig, I'm sorry, City Manager Haig had stated earlier, she's had a number of conversations. The plant board is on board with at least these first steps. I, I for lack of a better turn of phrase, I don't want to hamstring a quasi-governmental agency like the plant board with um, um, with decisions that we make that are not fiscally responsible based upon the information that and advice of the of the Frankfort plant board, and that's what I worry about. When I voted for the original resolution, and I still support the original resolution, I I I voted yes and said that I am in support of this so long as it does not um, come back on the individual ratepayers as a situation where it makes it difficult with increased energy rates. And I worry if we don't utilize the expertise of the plant board and let them be a part of all of the discussions and even accept some of the interest in putting up some of the money. Um, I don't see what's wrong with that. If it's a matter of this is a city project and it's not a plant board project, I understand, and I'm willing to concede that, but they are our partner and ally here, and I want to make sure that um, that they that we're all on Team Frankfurt, and that's what it really comes down to. And I want to reiterate that I'm 100% for this, so long as it does not affect the ratepayers, and that's what I want to make sure happens. But I thank you, Commissioner May, for your position and stating it for us.
Oh, so thank you very much for that. I understand. I think the thing I've been trying to reiterate with that is that with what we're talking about entering with the phase one, there's still going to be decisions. All we're getting right now is not an action plan on what we're going to do necessarily. It's talking points based on what the geographic layout of our topography, of what situations that we do have, certainly with our municipal partners in energy and all of that. We're not going to be making any decisions in the phase one that would choose how we move forward to where it would have starting to affect any of the other outside agencies. The phase one step is a response to the city of Frankfort has some aggressive goals that we need to get to, and we need neutral, scientific, database driven decisions to help us get there. That city staff obviously has a right to make the decision to call Frankfort Plant Board and say, our enroll that we've hired needs some information, and we need to have these meetings and get that information and bring them in at that point. That's the main thing for me, is just making sure that one streamlined point of communication, one streamlined point of decision making when it comes to just how we start to collect that information. And then we take that unbiased, neutral, scientific, fiscally data-driven decision and begin having the conversations. Hey, we've got a couple of options in front of us. Which ones do we think the community, and listening, which one does do the community think we need to support and move down? There will be a time and a place for that. I agree completely agree, and look forward to making sure we do that. I just view it as any contract with or any opportunity to bring someone in. If we're designing a room and there's multiple pieces to it, and we've hired an interior designer to come in to make that room look the best we can do, I think we should let the interior designer tell us which way we should head first. That was an analogy. And that way it's neutral. We're just going to hear from NREL is going to give us a report, not Commissioner May, not Commissioner Thompson, NREL.
Well, I agree.
And
I agree.
and then we can start those discussions on what we do with that information and who we make sure to involve, so that this is a community-wide effort. This is one of the most important, impactful decisions that we can make. The IPC, the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, came out today and said the scientific evidence is unequivocal. Climate change is a threat to human well-being and the health of the planet, and any further delay in concerted global action will miss a brief and rapidly closing window to secure a livable future. And that's the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change. The time is now. The city of Frankfort is leading this charge. We have the opportunity to lead this charge. We need to lead this charge, and we need to do it in as non-biased and as an efficient way as possible, so that the results and the economic benefit and the climate benefit, ecological benefit to this community is its absolute greatest that it possibly can be. And I think for efficiency and transparency, having one point of communication, one point of fiscal responsibility, and getting that information is the most efficient and economically viable way that we can move forward.
Just
Mr. Thompson, real quick. Yeah.
just very quickly, I agree with you, Commissioner May. If we hired an interior designer, but we already had somebody on staff that knew the ins and outs of interior design, I would want those two working together. And there are things in the phase 1 effort and even the optional phase 2 effort. You're talking about baselining and solution mapping, the development of pathways to 100% clean renewable electricity, and community clean energy analyses using slope and LEED. And I'm well aware of LEED and their requirements, and I have become more aware of slope as I have read. I am just simply saying that while I am in no way a science denier, I totally believe that there is climate change and it does affect our lives and affects it every single day. We have been told since Vice President Al Gore was touting this, that we only had so long until a window closed, and while I agree that we make an impact on this, I don't think we need to be in a position where we state that science is so overwhelming that everyone should plan on opening up their pocketbooks because we didn't let the plant board at least have their expertise in on this, and I don't think that's what you're suggesting. I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page, that at some point that the plant board is able to provide their expertise on this situation and provide that to us. And thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And Commissioner Unger, did you have your hand up earlier?
I'll pass. I'll just say we'll call for a vote. Everyone's ready.
Okay. Clerk, will you call for a vote, please?
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. And moving on to action item number 8.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The
Mayor.
Strategic Initiatives Consultant Contract.
Yes.
Do I continue or?
Go ahead.
Go that for discussion. Great. Staff recommends approval of the continuation of the contract with our Strategic Initiatives Consultant, Penny Peebler. I'm very pleased with the work with Penny so far, from facilitating the strategic plan, activating our arts master plan, bringing us the PADX development, which the VOC just voted on for the development plan, and so much more. And I look forward for her continuing her efforts in business traction and development, strategic communications, activation of our downtown master plan, among many other activities.
Okay.
Mayor, ma'am. I was going to ask for this to be tabled. We've not had any. Penny has been involved in a few things, and some things have been completed. Some things I believe are still in the works, but I was asking for this to be, it's a huge contract at 84,000, I believe was that contract number, I believe. But I'm asking to table this just till March for us to have Penny give us a presentation of all the things that she is completed, all the things that she has going on now that are moving forward, so we can give our community, just a briefing of how important that we see that this position is, and for her to do that on the working meeting, to do a presentation of all the things she's done, and then vote on this at the voting meeting. So I make a motion that we table this so we can vote on this in March.
Okay, we have a motion to table this action item to March. Do we have a second? Okay, seeing no second, this motion fails.
Thank you.
Commissioner Unger?
I'd like to move to approve.
Okay, a motion to approve the contract for Strategic Initiative Consulting.
Second.
And we have a second, Commissioner Thompson. Any discussion on this motion? I'll just say that I'm pleased with the effort so far and the work that's been done, and I like that this, when we first started this last year, it was the first time the city had done something like this, and it was new to all of us, and I think we didn't quite know what we wanted, at least. I mean, know what we wanted, but we didn't know what the scope would be until we got started.
Time, because it's my home and I want to do it, and the fact that we've kind of convinced her to hang on for a little bit longer and finish up some of these projects that we've just got started, because we know it takes a while to get these things done, makes me very, very happy and hopeful for the future.
Any other discussion? City Clerk, will you please call for a vote?
Commissioner Waldridge,
I will vote yes, as everyone else sees that it is fine. However, I will suggest and also request an update of all the things that Penny has completed over the last year. I think some of our staff and some of our residents have had concerns, and I think with their concerns that, I think it's really easy just for Penny to put out a presentation of what she has completed this year, and what goals and objectives we have for her moving into 2022. I think sometimes as a board, we fail to see what our goals and objectives are, and holding people to our goals and objectives. And I have met with Penny on many occasions, and we have agreed to disagree on some, and we've agreed on other things. And I think, I just think moving forward, spending so much money, we need an update. It's not something that just all of a sudden shows up on an agenda to be approved. I think we need updates and things of that nature before we sign off on another agreement. And I was really surprised to see it up on here, since there wasn't a presentation at the last meeting. So I will say yes on behalf of the other commissioners, as they seem to be very well happy and moving forward, but I would like an update.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. And moving on to action item number 9.
Thank you, Mayor. Really excited to bring this forward to the Board of Commissioners, the approval of the strategic plan. Some of the things I mentioned, I know in the February 14th work session where Penny presented on the draft strategic plan. This was many hours and many months in the making. This was a priority for me, and something I mentioned when interviewing with you all that I thought was really important for the city, the staff, the community to have. This strategic plan took countless hours of meetings, individual meetings with the BOC, review of all the previous plans, many meetings with staff, 2 retreats. And I think we can all be really proud of what we have. And the community can be really proud of what we have. The strategic plan has 4 focus areas, 21 strategies, 83 activities, and equally important, I think, it details our business and culture values that guide us how we work and how we treat each other. Again, I want to thank Penny for leading us through this important effort. And I know the city staff and I look forward to getting started on this work and reporting back to the community and back to the Board of Commissioners every quarter. So just very excited that we can bring this forward.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Okay, and we have a second, Commissioner Unger. I think that motion was Commissioner Aldridge, City Clerk. Any discussion? Well, I'll add, or I'll ask how much a strategic plan would cost us if we were hiring an outside consultant. They're not cheap, so we would have to pay somebody to do that. So I appreciate Penny's work on this, and it really has helped making decisions and guiding. When we make decisions now, I think about that. Is this in line with what we talked about as a group? So, that's all I'll say. Any other discussion? Okay. City Clerk, please call for a vote.
Commissioner Waldridge,
I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Commissioner Thompson,
Very much so, yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries to adopt our strategic plan. Congratulations all. And that leads us to, on the agenda, we have new business. I guess maybe we can start with the unfinished business first. Let's start with the unfinished business first. Commissioner Waldridge.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Sorry, I'm working from 2 things here. I'm not sure why all of a sudden my computer's being funny today. Unfinished business, that is correct. Mayor, given the circumstances at hand in regards to our commission, I just ask in any way, shape, or form that you as mayor be a little more aggressive in this, getting our hearing for rescheduled as soon as possible this week, if preferred, our public hearing. I'm ready for this to move on. I am tired of it dragging out as more things continue to pile up, and it's just something we need to hurry up and get off of our desk so we can move on to other city business. So if you could in any way, shape, or form work with our lawyers or call a meeting that we can meet with our lawyers so we can get this moving in the right direction and get this hearing back on the books so we can move forward. That would be my unfinished business. Thank you.
Okay, and well, if there's no other objection, maybe we can ask staff to, if there's no legal reason to delay it. And I think that's the main thing. Is there a legal reason to delay the hearing? If not, then as soon as possible.
Mayor, hearing the will of the commission, I would reach out to our attorneys and consult with them first. And then we will get back as soon as possible back to the commissioners and report back.
Thank you. I'm available all week.
Thank you.
I believe the other commissioners are available as well. We'll clear our calendars if we need to.
And thank you. And I'll just say, we have to listen to our council, and if they say we have to delay, we have to delay, and I have to trust their expertise. So, but duly noted. Okay. Any other unfinished business? If none, Commissioner Waldridge.
My last unfinished would be that I did speak with Ms. Haig today and just requesting that we go back into in-person meetings starting in March. I know that she said that I think there was a little bit of conversation, but just knowing that it's time we get back into in-person and hope for the best, since a lot of things have been listed as far as face mask and things of that nature, and it's just time for us to get back together as a commission and be in person. So thank you.
Yeah. And I think that's the plan, so. Noted. Moving on to new business. Commissioner Unger.
I just wanted to share that if anyone saw it on Facebook today, Frankfort has been nominated as one of the 16 strong towns in the country. The contest is to celebrate communities that are putting their focus on practices that build resilience and prosperity. I honestly think Frankfort should be #1. I think you have time to vote until Thursday for this round. So I hope we move forward and just make sure you go online. If you can do that, check out the Facebook post and vote. Thank you.
And thank you. And no, this is a very big deal. A lot of people follow strong towns, including myself. It's one of the reasons I ran for mayor. I think it's if just being in the Sweet 16 is going to get us attention that we weren't expecting. So further we can get, the better. And if we need to direct staff to do whatever we need to do to get that out there as much as possible, that'd be great. Commissioner
Mayor,
Wallace.
if I can add to this, first of all, I want to thank Blair, Jordan, Eric, and Rebecca for putting together the application. They worked really hard on it. And one thing where I like this, to being a strong community, is that you're looking at communities who face challenges. You know, we're facing some serious financial challenges related to this pandemic. We've had other challenges in the past, but that how our community is moving forward and the things, not only our strategic plan, the plans we have done, but the things that we've already accomplished and you all have already accomplished together this past year. So I think it's a great recognition. Please check out our Facebook page where you can see how to vote and spread it around. We'll send it out to our email out to our partners, but Blair will be leading the effort to raise awareness about how you can vote.
Yeah, good work. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, everyone. Commissioner Waldridge.
I marked that one off my list, Lisa. So thank you.
Mark that one off my list, Lisa, so thank you. But yes, I've shared that on my Facebook page, as I'm sure all commissioners will. So I'm super excited about that. So thank you to the team that put together that got that out there. I read over some of the things, was very impressed in what they shared about our city. And it just sheds a new light on our small but strong city. New business that we're in, I wanted to just mention that I met with Pastor Whitlock the other day in regards to another event for Juneteenth. And we were looking at trying to host a church/community unity picnic on Sunday on the old Capitol grounds, and would like the city to be involved. And we're hoping to bring a proposal to the next meeting and get that to Ms. Haig to look over for all of our churches to come around to have hopefully maybe an old-fashioned picnic on the state capitol on Juneteenth, and allow all the churches to perform on stage with all of their churches right there in the middle of downtown. And I just think it would be wonderful. So been meeting with him on that to add maybe that to some of our items. Hopefully the city will join in once that proposal is received. My last item of new business, Mayor, is I would like to see if it is possible for us to change the, and I think I'd already spoke with City Solicitor Ross on this, and seeing if it is possible to add 2 county members to our Parks Board. I know we have some other openings come up, and it seems like, with reappointing, I know that when you came in, you said it's time to get new people on these boards, new vision, moving out. And, I want to make sure we're having the right people on these boards and open it up for other people. We own all the parks in the city except for one, which is Lakeview. And I just think we should consider adding a county member to that board, or maybe two, just to include our entire community, being that the county, they do use all of our parks. And they only have the one. I think it would be a good suggestion to see if we can open, instead of just being in the city limits, can we open that to being in the county as well, for someone to serve on the parks board, to get more diversity, to get more people involved. A lot of people from the county spoke out in regards to the pool, in regards to tennis courts, in regards to Lakeview Park and other parks. And I just think this would be a great opportunity if we can expand our opening for that, to add a county or two. I'm not sure what the information is, what we need to do to go through to change the ordinance or change whatever we need. But I would like us to start thinking about that and consider that with other appointments and reappointments coming up.
Yeah. Is that it for new business? If there's no other new business,
Move to
Move to
adjourn.
adjourn.
okay, we have Commissioner Waldridge
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Unger. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned. See you in March.